Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Deep Recruiting. It's another Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a great week. I know I am. It's been very exciting. Had a big day today doing some vibe coding. Actually, just got my proof of concept set up and out the door. What I want to talk to you today about is how are you setting up your partnership with your clients? How are both you and your client getting the most out of your partnership? Because we're in a business that deals in human beings. We're dealing with a very, very flawed product and service. We're dealing with a product and service that has a mind of its own, does crazy things, does silly things. I've been on 2 calls this week with companies that were very, very upset about work another agency had done. They felt that the candidates had been misrepresented. They felt that the agency didn't care that these people had been misrepresented, and they wanted to make sure that they could trust us. And that's actually one of the big challenges all of us, I think, have in this business is we get a new client, we get a new prospect, but part of the reason we're getting them is because they've been burned by our competition in the past. And that just doesn't help anybody. Part of the reason I'm doing this podcast is I want everybody to be as professional as possible. I want everybody doing their best to do the right thing at all given times, because it makes us all look better. It makes us all look good when we do something like that. And so I'm going to give you an example of one of the things you need to do for your client when things are tough, things are wrong. This actually happened a long time ago, but it really sticks in my mind. I got a call at 9:30 on a Friday night from a new account manager. This person had been with us just maybe half a year. And we had gotten a client that had 44 open contract positions open. Very exciting time. And we were hustling. We had a month to fill all 44, and we're doing it. We're filling them. And one of the people we presented out there got rejected. The feedback was, we don't know what's wrong with this person, but something's wrong. Something's weird about this person, so we're going to pass. Well, okay. That's life, right? So about a month goes by, and we find out that that guy has actually just started at our client through another vendor. And this new account manager calls me up Friday night, like I said, about 9:30 at night, very, very upset about this. What are we going to do about this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, look, they rejected this person for a reason. They may not be able to clearly articulate it, but something felt wrong, right? We don't want to get in the middle of this. Whatever was wrong before is likely going to come up again. So the way you handle a situation like this is you reach out to the client, you tell them, hey, look, we understand. Mistakes happen. No big deal. Don't worry about it, right? And so that's what my sales rep did. And sure as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, the very next week, we get a call from the client. Now, when we had told the client, we're not going to worry about it. No big deal. Let's just move forward. They were very appreciative that we simply, did the right thing. We didn't make a fuss about it. It's about customer service, right? Well, like I said, about a week later, whatever it was wrong. And I don't remember what it was, but it reared its ugly head and they had to terminate this person. And then the very next day, this person came back to work and sat in their car in the parking lot all day long. Think about that. Who looked good in that situation? We did. The other agency that placed this person did not look good. And in fact, they lost the client over that. And we ended up getting exclusives in all the future positions. That's what good customer service is. If your client has a requirement and you've got a candidate you believe in, but they are missing a key component of what your client says they absolutely positively must have, and you still want to make the presentation, make the presentation. You have a responsibility to make that presentation. Responsibility to the recruiter, responsibility to the candidate, responsibility to yourself, frankly, responsibility to the client. They need to be aware of the work you're putting in and what you're generating. But you also need to tell them up front, hey, this person is only going to be remote. This person can only work hybrid. This person's going to relocate to another state in a couple of weeks, whatever it is. You have to let the client know exactly what that bugaboo is that could cause a problem. give them the opportunity to make a yes/no decision. More often than not, they're going to make a positive decision in your favor. There's no reason to hide it. There's no reason to hold information back. And for heaven's sake, please don't ever tell the candidate to misrepresent something about them that could upset the client. That is death. That is exactly the perfect way to lose a client forever. Trust is very, very difficult to earn and very, very easy to lose. When you lose it, it's even harder to get it back. So you don't want to do anything that's going to damage your reputation with your client. Always be honest, always operate with integrity, and always expose the negatives along with the positives with all of your candidates. And furthermore, don't be afraid to pull a candidate if you discover something about them. Let's say a candidate is interviewing with a client. I've done this, and you find out the candidate has lied during the process. You have a responsibility to your client and yourself and your employer to reach out to the client and say, hey, listen, we found out this person has misrepresented something. We don't want to be involved. If you want to hire the person, we won't charge you a fee. We're not going to be involved in any way, shape, or form. We're not interested in representing this candidate. Your client will be shocked. Some of them will actually move forward and hire that person. Most of them won't. But the ones that do will usually call you in a couple of months going, man, I wish I would have listened to you. And that's when you elevate yourself to being a true partner. Not because you crammed a placement through, but because you were willing to walk away from a deal that you knew wasn't the right deal for your paying customer. That's where trust and longevity is truly built. I hope you've got something out of this today. I'm coming back at you every week with a different idea, a different way to approach this business, or at least maybe it's different for you. Some of you already know this stuff, but it's always good to have a good reminder. If you've got an issue, a concern that you want to bring up, email us at deeprecruiting@teamgtn.com. That email address is in the description. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what challenges you're facing, what type of obstacles you're facing in this business. Always be honest, always operate with integrity, because that's how you get repeat business. Appreciate you tuning in. Please give us your comments. Your comments drive the algorithm. It's what lifts this podcast up. It's going to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And the better we all are, the better off we're all going to be. Hope you're having a great day today. Hope you made a sale. Hope you're on the cusp of making another one. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks a bunch. Take care and make it a great week. Bye-bye.